Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. I know I haven't done the video in a couple of days, but I'm back. Just been busy, just been in the gym working out real heavy, you know what I'm saying? Getting it in, baby, getting it in, losing weight, loving it. But anyway, I just wanted to just get in real quick about this team, the Cowboys we're talking about, of course, if y'all didn't know. This whole coaching versus player debacle, because it just seems like this offseason is weird, right? I've never felt I've never felt this weary or bad about a winning season, right? Because the Cowboys did go 12-5. The last time we had this much wins was Dak's rookie year when we were 13-3. If you go back to Dak's rookie year, before he had the money, before uh, Mike McCarthy, we still had Jason Garrett. I just believe that year we would have went farther in the playoffs had Jason Garrett did something different in the playoffs. Because again, the problem with this team is we get lame duck when we get to important games. This is why we don't win these type of games, because we get that lame duck mentality going into this. Now, I'm not blaming Mike McCarthy, because I'm gonna explain that in a minute. Even though Jason Garrett is gone, even though a lot of these other coaches are gone, that old narrative of is still here. Kellen Moore's still here. I'm not saying that he needs to leave. I'm just saying, granted he didn't get the Miami job, which I would have hoped for him to do that. But I don't hate Kellen Moore. I just need him to learn how to switch things up and run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. We have one of the best rosters in the league this year. There's no reason why we couldn't have gone farther in the playoffs. You look at the teams that beat us, like 49ers, yeah, they're good, but they didn't do anything special. Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely not better than Dak Prescott, but they have a better offensive coordinator over there. They know how to switch things up. They know how to scheme things to create things to make the quarterback not have to throw as much. Because they say it all the time. To beat Jimmy Garoppolo, you just got to make him throw more than 25 times. How did the 49ers lose in the playoffs? Jimmy Garoppolo threw an interception at the end, and they lost it. Because they did the thing that we were supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? So, if somebody like me that's not a coach, granted, I played football, I know the game well, but I've never been a coach and I never will be a coach. But I'm not a coach. I don't have NFL experience, none of that. But if somebody like me can figure that out, why can't the Dallas Cowboys staff figure this shit out? Because you look at the Dallas Cowboys staff, you calculate all of the years and experience of these guys outside of Kellen Moore, it's a lot. Even Kellen Moore, if you talk about like even being a football player and being a coach, you add all of that up, our coaching staff has a lot of fucking experience. There's no reason why they can't put this little shit together and make it work. That's the annoying thing, and I know you guys feel me on this. When we went through our 10 years of Garrett, like I said, I hate to badmouth Garrett. I'm not badmouthing him. I'm just saying he's an average coach, right? He can get you to a playoff, but he can't get you farther than that. By the way that he coaches, his philosophy is cool. He's a player-friendly coach. That's why a lot of the players love Garrett. I get that. But his conservativeness, and that's the perfect word for it, his conservativeness will never get over the hump to win the big game. When you get to the big game, you have to be aggressive. You have to switch things up. You can't be afraid to do certain things. And you gotta not do the same things over and over and over again. Perfect example of us coming back to being that lame duck in this season. Kellen Moore started the season hot. We won what? We lost the first game of the season, won the next 6. Why? Not necessarily just because of the teams that we were playing, but the simple fact that we were rolling. We almost beat the Buccaneers. Kellen Moore was in his bag, right? He did his due diligence in the offseason. He did everything he needed to do. He collected all the info that he wanted to do to put into this offense for the season. The problem is he gassed out around the end of the season, around the time we were playing the Cardinals and things of that nature. Right around that Thanksgiving time, that's when he started running out of gas with the Raiders and the Chiefs game and stuff like that. Started running out of gas. So, and then not to mention that crazy loss to Denver, that hurt. But you gotta learn how to add continuancy to your offense. When you're an offensive coordinator, you gotta keep that bag coming. You gotta have an endless bag. When you get into that bag, it's gotta be a bottomless bag. It's like when you go to Red Robin and they got bottomless fries. You bottomless bag, unlimited amount of what Zeke say, unlimited glizzies, unlimited bags of fun to pull out plays, pull out screens and run plays and screen passes and throwing it in the seam to the tight end. So a lot of different things that we weren't scheming to do. Oh, get the ball to your number one receiver. That's another thing we're going to get into as well. But the problem with that is that situation, you run out of tricks, right? Not necessarily tricks, but you run out of stuff to do, and you go back to being lame duck. Now, we know that Kellen Moore comes from the Lions, and he also, and as far as his coaching experience, comes from the Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan coaching tree. Okay. Not a bad thing, but when they say when you're learning from somebody in the beginning, you're only as good as your teacher, correct? So if you learn from Jason Garrett, you learn from Scott Linehan, you kind of got their tendencies and their ways too, right? We know that the difference between them and Kellen's, we know that Jason Garrett will run the ball, which I love. Kellen Moore is a gunslinger. That's how he was at Boise State. That's how he ran his offenses. He got that from his daddy, which was a coach. So it's the same thing. But he has to learn to be balanced. Yes, we know that your go-to is to throw the ball. That's fine. But you can't throw the ball every play. If your quarterback is out there throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. Because you don't have balance. You're one-dimensional, and this is the NFL. These defenses will eat you alive, and they will figure it out. Perfect example, that Arizona Cardinals game. Buda Baker and company. They were in the defensive line. They were batting down Dak Prescott's passes like no other. They knew his second and third reads. How does the defense know your reads? How do they know what your secondary and third options are? That's because they've been watching tape and they've been seeing you doing that shit over and over again. That you got away with it with the teams that couldn't battle it, but with the teams that can and have the defense to do it. I told y'all before, when we played the Broncos, when we played the AFC, when we played the Broncos, when we played the Chiefs, when we played the Raiders, all three of those teams have defenses that are in the same division and know how to play Pat Mahomes. Our offense was very Pat Mahomes-ish in the way of being a high-powered offense, speed and having a lot of weapons. So those defenses playing against him in the AFC knows how to play against that, and our offense was kind of similar to what they run in Kansas City. So by them playing against Kansas City and knowing how to do, they took that same template and used it against the Dallas Cowboys, and that's how they were able to beat us defensively. But whenever you see a team that's doing that to you, you have to learn how to adjust. You have to learn how to switch up what you're doing. You can't keep doing the same thing in a row. How many times have we watched a game where we kept seeing our running backs running straight up the gut? Running back dives straight up past the center or past the left or right guard. I don't care how good your offensive line is. When a team sees you doing that, they're going to load the box and they're going to do that. But normally when a team is loading the box, it's single safety high in that aspect. So if it's single safety high, then you can audible out and throw the ball deep. But you have to learn how to do that. Now, Dak has to understand that. That's my only gripe about Dak. Understand that this is your offense now, and you got to take over even when shit breaks down, or if you don't believe in what the play call is. Fuck that. I know that you got options. Maybe they still want him to play within the system. Maybe that's why Dak's still playing like that. But if you're getting paid that much money, that means you're the franchise quarterback. This is your team, and you need to be like Tom Brady and say, F what the OC says. I'm going to do what I need to do to win this game. And I think Dak may be not there yet, but he should be there this coming season. He's going to have to be, because that's the only way that this team is going to get over the hump. Because there's multiple reasons why we're not winning. And most of it is because the Jones family has just been holding this team back. As much as they want to win Super Bowls, they keep saying, the thing that kills me about Jerry, you've won Super Bowls before. Go back to how you were doing before. I know times have changed and it is different. But if you're going to hire a coach, and you said that you hired Mike McCarthy because you like what Mike McCarthy did with the Packers, you like how Mike McCarthy's experiences, him going to 4 NFC title games, him going to a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, and we see that now with Aaron Rodgers and what happened with them this year, that Mike McCarthy was not the problem in Green Bay. So people need to stop talking that shit. And people need to stop saying that we need to fire Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy's not the issue right now. Not right now. How is he on the hot seat when you haven't even given him full range to do what he wants to do? You got to take away the first season because that was COVID. Definitely didn't implement his system. This year, he installed some of his mechanics, but you're still running the Kellen Moore, Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan system. This offense is still Jason Garrett's system with a twist. You basically spiked the punch. That's what it was. So Jason Garrett's offense is still here. It's the fruit punch. Kellen Moore put some alcohol in it. He put some good stuff and some tequila in there. And that's how your offense got how we were swinging the ball around and this and that. And that was a good thing, but you ran out of stuff to do and you went back to the lame duck. Once that alcohol was drunken up, you're back to the lame fruit punch. You get where I'm going here? So and then of course Jerry Jones told Mike McCarthy coming in, I don't want you to call the plays, I want Kellen Moore to call the plays. When that's all Mike McCarthy has ever done in his career was call plays for his teams. But you're going to tell him to come here and not do that. But you wanted him to be the coach of the team. How is Mike McCarthy going to be successful if you're not allowing him to utilize his tools? Yes, it was Mike McCarthy's fault for hiring his friend Mike Nolan. Yeah, but you would too. If it was a guy that you bang with like that in the league, you're going to hire your friends. People do that. That's what they do. I'm not even mad at that, but it is what it is. It didn't work out, and we got Dan Quinn, so it's fine. It worked out. But I just don't like the way that this front office is treating this team and how they've just been fucking things up for the last, I don't know, I guess 10, 20 years when it comes to that. Perfect example of that. I kind of feel sorry for Dak because I'm like, Dak can only control what Dak can control. He can control the offense. He can control what he does on the field. But I'm not going to be too hard on Dak only because of the simple fact that he came back from a gruesome injury. And I know that Joe Burrow did too, but they definitely have a better offensive play caller over there. But shout out to the Bengals. I hope they win the Super Bowl. But I will say this. Dak was just thrown into that situation. Like, for him to come back and even still play football after having a bone hanging out of your skin, and literally your foot is twisted the opposite way, still coming back and trying to mentally play a professional game of football, and with the noise all around you because you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Every quarterback in this wore a star on his helmet has been criticized. Every single one of them, especially Tony Romo. So I say this to say that I commend Dak for being headstrong. Is he going to make mistakes? Yeah, he's 27 years old, about to be 28. It happens. But at the same time, you got to make things work around him. You have to switch it up because this offense is still predicated on what Tony was doing and what Scott and Jason were doing. So you need to create a new offense specifically for Dak, specifically for Zeke, specifically for the way that our offense runs now. Um, they need to allow Mike McCarthy to completely install his system, so there's no more of that leftover of the last coaching staff. You need to start anew. We haven't started anew yet. A lot of fans don't realize that. Just because you change coaches, if you're still running the old shit, you're still gonna get the same results. You got to do something different. So allow Mike McCarthy to be the coach and do him, and I guarantee you be better. We even with what was going on, we were still 12-5. So regardless of what that is, but a lot of people don't look at it like that because we were one and done in the playoffs, and that was our own fault. We shot ourselves in the foot. We couldn't get the ball going. There's no reason why CeeDee Lamb has one fucking catch in the playoffs. In a playoff game, there are ways to scheme your wide receivers open. You have I mean, granted you didn't have Michael Gallup, but you still had your top two receivers, and you had a damn good one with Cedric Wilson. Matter of fact, all of our wide receivers are good. Malik Turner, all of them can catch. You know what I'm saying? Noah Brown, all of them can do work, but you have to give them the opportunity to do that. Why are we throwing the ball in the middle of the field when the sun is right there in the middle of the field? When you could have dumped the ball off to the side where the sun is not at and gained more yardage. Why would you do that? So, Kellen Moore got to get on the page with Dak. Dak's got to be better for next year, and I think he will. I think this year he was concentrating so much on his rehab that, like, he couldn't get better. You see the way his mechanics were off, too, because he was throwing the ball. He was favoring that other leg that was stronger, and when you favor one side more than the other, you start to weaken that side. I'm sorry this video is long, but it's just a lot of information to get out. But bear with me. But that's pretty much with that. Now, as far as what this front office is doing right now, I don't like how they're talking so much in the media. Stop that talking stuff. Stop openly talking about your wide receiver. Stop openly talking about this and that and who gonna get cut and because you're making the media speculate things and they're creating their stories based off of what you say, and then you start confusing the fan base because then the fan base doesn't know what to believe. This whole narrative of Amari Cooper or D-Law. Why is there a choice? I understand because we're cap strapped, right? Okay. There's a lot of guys that got heavy salaries on this team that you can restructure that are going to be with this team probably for the rest of their career, right? Core guys. You take your core guys and you restructure all of them goddamn contracts, and you can get probably about 25-30 mil off of that. If you want to keep Amari Cooper, you can restructure that too. You don't have to cut him. This is the thing. They always want to blame the number one wide receiver, right? They blame Dez too, and they cut Dez, which I was mad when they cut Dez. That really pissed me off because he loved this team. Granted, Dez wasn't working with a full deck, but you still could have utilized him. He still has stuff in the tank. Every time the Cole Beasley was another one too. Like they took his situation and was like, out the door. But now I feel like it's another situation with Amari. Amari is still one of the best wide receivers in this league. Amari can't throw himself the ball. Amari doesn't run the offense. Amari does what he does. Every time you get Amari the ball, something good happens. You either got long yardage or you're getting a touchdown. If they get rid of Amari, I'm going to be pissed. Because I'm going to tell you like this. You can't look at this and say that this is his fault. I know Stephen Jones came out and said, if you're paying somebody that much money, you expect results. Well, look at your fucking offensive coordinator and tell him to scheme his guy to get the ball. Amari Cooper ain't getting the ball. CeeDee Lamb ain't getting the ball. You're doing these stupid little dump-offs that don't work. You're doing these stupid little trickery things, end around and run arounds and I'm gonna pass you the ball, you pass him the ball. Sometimes that stuff works, but you can't do that all the time. You have to be smart and play the right way. Cut that bull. So I say this to say, Jerry Jones got to look at himself. The Joneses in general, they got to look at themselves as far as why we're on this mediocrity thing. Wasn't it Charles Haley that said it himself? Jerry built this house of losers. Look at the stadium. There is no home field advantage with the Cowboys. The stadium looks like a museum. It's a museum. It's a playhouse. It's fun. It's great. It's not a hostile environment at all for the visiting team. The visiting team comes in and whoops our ass. Why? Because there's no home field advantage. You got these rich mofos in there just, oh, okay, the Cowboys are winning. Oh, okay, they scored a touchdown. No, you need gritty fans up in there yelling loud as can be. You need them seats rocking in that stadium. So, I'm just saying, then and only then will shit change. And I just look at this like this. You have Zeke. You had Tony Pollard. And I know they were injured, but you still didn't utilize them right. You had Corey Clement. Corey Clement killed us when he was with the Eagles. And he won the Super Bowl with them in 2017. And he scored a touchdown in that game. Why are we have these Ferraris and Porsches in the yard, but we're not using them? You use an offensive lineman to play fullback, but you had a fullback on your special teams roster. If you didn't believe in Ralston, why even have him on the team? Utilize the players that you have, because you don't know what they can do until you let them do it. Because what you do with these players, you lower their confidence. When a player goes out there and plays his best, his confidence is better. Perfect example, Dalton Schultz didn't get better until his third or fourth year because they didn't use him much in the beginning of his career. They started using him more, and when they started using him more, that was when he got the shine, because he got more reps meaning more time in your head. You could, all right, I made this mistake, let me fix this, and you get better and better and better every year. That's just how it works when you're playing sports. You can't get better if you're sitting on the damn bench, shawty. So I'm just saying, that's the ownership, that's the coach's issue, and they need to fix that. So they need to stop disrespecting Mike McCarthy and allow Mike McCarthy to run this team like Mike McCarthy can. Stop talking about, is he on a hot seat and this and that. That's bullshit. You kept Jason Garrett for 10 years. Mike McCarthy just got here 2 years ago, so I don't want to hear that shit. Like, and the fact that he doesn't even have full control of it, and you want to get rid of it? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Cut that out. Just cut that with a knife. I think that's all I had. But yeah, I just this whole Amari Cooper, D-Law thing, and even with D-Law, you saw the difference when he came back. When he came back, that defense was sturdy as hell, because people know what D-Law is, and when the attention is on him, even if he's not, getting to the quarterback, it leaves room for the other guys to get open. If they want these guys, they can do it. Take D-Law's contract and restructure it. Take Amari Cooper's contract and restructure it. That's $25 million right there. So you ain't got to cut him. You don't have to release him. Just do the right thing and keep the right players and do what you need to do, because what happens when we get rid of these players? They go to other teams and they win the Super Bowl. Chidobe Awuzie is playing in the damn Super Bowl. Thanks for watching the channel. If you're still here at this point, I appreciate you watching this long video. I know people's attention span ain't shit no more, but I appreciate it. I just had to get this out because I had to get on my pedestal for a minute, because this is real. This is the realest I've ever been. So with that being said, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and if you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell, so you know when this content hits. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Y'all have a great Tuesday. Peace out.